Before the video starts about the discussion of the big upcoming storm this weekend, I quickly want to add in a 30 to 40-second clip of this upcoming system right here in the next 24 hours. This one is much smaller, not as significant, but it has been looking as if the models have been overachieving it in a sense that it may be more snow than previously thought. So Kentucky, areas in Kentucky, West Virginia, Virginia may see actually more snow than thought, so stay prepared. This one may be a quick hitter. It may drop several inches of snow possibly, and it may overall just be a surpriser, as it may surprise many people with this quick blast of snow. Generally, the amounts are going to be light, but I would say that 1 to 4 across West Virginia, a little bit less across Virginia, and even parts of central to southern Jersey may see up to 1 to 3 inches. So stay informed. This one is not going to be updated on this channel again, but stay tuned to your National Weather Service, as this one may still impact your travel quite significantly. Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. I'm hoping you guys are all having a fantastic day. So today's upload, as you can tell by the title of this video, is again about the snowstorm possibility across the country. And let me tell you guys, okay, the snowstorm possibility has risen dramatically, and I usually don't say that the chances are high when it's 5 to 4 days out. That's what we are at, really, 4 days out. But significant, I guess, model agreement has occurred in the last several hours. Now, again, the timing, the exact location of the heaviest snow, yeah, that is definitely still, not going to be figured out till possibly the day of the storm. That's nothing new here. The thing is that the models are agreeing that there will be a big storm, all of them. Now all of them have their own little twist on it. That's normal, but I guess it does occur. I could name it several occurrences where this confidence does occur. It's just that it's really pleasing when it does occur. Such high confidence this far out, as it gives the forecaster and the people that are affected a better chance to prepare or really know what's coming their way. As again, this storm looks to be just really powerful. A lot of things could go wrong with it. High winds, strong rain, heavy snow, possibly some icing. So we'll all get into that in today's video. Consider subscribing to this channel, guys. Consider liking this video. It really means a lot to me when you guys support this channel. It just means so much, means the world to me, and I truly appreciate each and every one of your subscribed individual. So, it really means a lot. You do not know how much. So thank you for considering doing that and liking the video as well. Notice right now we're looking at the Canadian. Let's just start off at the Canadian, shall we? So the Canadian is a CMC, Canadian Meteorology Center. I think that's what it stands for. But notice that it's a Canadian model, and I already said that several times. Notice that there's going to be a couple of waves to this storm. So first, there's a mainly a rain phase for most locations, as we are in a warm pattern right now. Okay, there's no doubt about that. And again, there's many that are saying, "Oh, warm pattern is ahead. That means no snowstorms." Again, I stand strongly by the belief that when there's a warm pattern in the winter, it usually produces even bigger snowstorms, and that may not be for the southern U.S., but oh, I'm telling you, I've seen too much weather that has gone unpredicted. Usually when it's warm and mild, 40s in January, you usually get loads of moisture, and when you see a colliding air mass with that moisture, you could just get an absolute recipe for a giant system. And notice that right now we're looking at rain precipitation just blossoming across the country, though really it will be pretty wimpy up until Saturday. This could still drop up to half an inch of rain across places like Chicago, northern Indiana, Iowa, southern Indiana, Ohio, and then the real system starts developing. You notice that the first, push of moisture is brought by this low pressure. That is powerful, and it has quite a nice drive, and it kind of swoops up some of this precip, and we already have a low forming back here. It's kind of kicking that up, giving a nudge to this moisture, and that kicks up quite a bit of rain across the plains. And again, this is nothing compared to what we will see in just a minute. Notice, look at this. This low really intensifies. We get a nice band of snow on the backside of it. This may be underdone by the Canadian. Notice just extremely heavy rain. This would just, again, the timing differences, all of that. The placement is yet to be determined, but the potential for this rain is in every single model every single model is showing that the storm has this potential. I mean, look at those colors. Those are just really vibrant yellow colors, and that usually tells us that is some pretty darn heavy rain, as you could tell by the scale. Usually either just a heavy rain, moderate to heavy rain, widespread, or some even severe thunderstorms if given the right system and the right dynamics, which with this one occurring pretty far to the south, we may see that. Notice it really wraps itself up and delivers just a giant, if you will, area of snow and sleet. See, I don't really like the Canadian solution, as it gives out a little bit too much sleet than I would think, though it definitely is possible, as the storm will have a lot of warm air. However, it would make more sense if there was more cold air in place. Usually we see big sleet storms, big freezing rainstorms, when it's a cold air mass that has been in place for either a very long time or is in place with a strong magnitude, very cold temperatures, and a very warm storm comes up and produces ice, as that warm air tries pushing that cold air out, but as the cold air is too stubborn. This time around, we don't have that cold air. I mean, as if you're probably watching this in the Midwest, the Northeast, the East, the South, it's above average. It's really, there's warm temperatures. The West, the Southwest, the Plains, Northern Plains, Western Northern Plains, it's chillier. But in the Southeast and just in generally East, it's warmer. And I just don't really buy this freezing rain scenario. But let's just see. I mean, it's still showing loads of snow. This would be a very disastrous, nightmarish event with the sleet and rain, with the sleet and freezing rain. Snowfall amounts would be skewed according to this graph because of this would be mostly falling as sleet over here. A thin line of snow up to the north. Again, still significant amounts if this were to occur across that little slim area. Now, I agree with the Canadian. The least usually has a worse handle on the systems. The GFS and the European usually do better. So let's look at the GFS. Let's take this back away and let's look at the GFS model system, and let's look at the MSLP and precip. Notice that first very potent system to the north, not moisture deprived at all, has quite a bit of snow with it, quite a bit of rain, drags up some moisture, and then quickly this low pressure spawns, and you could see a first batch of snow, which could, again, they're still showing some sleet, some freezing rain, just to a lesser extent than the Canadian, and I think that's more possible, as I think this could be a potential for some ice and freezing rain, definitely. I'm not saying that it won't. Usually with such winter storms we do, but the fact that the Canadian is showing so much is just a little bit, I guess, is an indication to me that it may not have the best handle on that. So I look towards models like the GFS and notice very heavy snow on the backside, just ridiculous amounts of snow. This would be very heavy snow, as again, if you look at this system right here, this low pressure is extremely strong with very strong heavy rain across the Tennessee Valley, southern Indiana, Illinois, Missouri, Arkansas, and Louisiana and Texas. So this would be very a big concern for flooding, definitely. And another concern is once this moves up into the cold air, extremely heavy snow to be occurring with this, and then if that's not enough, it revolves another kind of a secondary deformation band, if you will, and that really just cranks out across the Illinois, Wisconsin area, and look, possibly interior parts of the Northeast just getting absolutely dosed with snow. Would this occur? I think that this is a fair scenario. The probabilities are higher than the Canadian. Is the GFS right at this point? Definitely not. It is. Does it have some right? Some aspects of this correct? I definitely think so. But it would be not fair to say, where the heavy snow would lie right now. Be like, oh, Wisconsin, southern Wisconsin, not seeing the brunt of this. Northern Illinois, seeing more heavier snow. That's not fair to say at all right now, as really the models are just agreeing on the fact that there will be a big storm, not necessarily where the storm will occur and where the heaviest snowfall amounts will be. We know that, the general place of occurrence will be the Midwest, but it's not going to happen in the Northwest or the Northeast. It's the Midwest, just, there's a lot of difference and a lot of placement issues that are still getting resolved. Let's look at the Canadian now. Let me first show you let's look at the geopotential height, and let's see if this loads. It's the European has been consistent as well. This is the thing with all the models. They've been pretty darn consistent with this. Again, there isn't really no model that stands out as, oh, this one's definitely right, this one's definitely wrong. At this point, the GFS may be right, and just for your information, FYI, the GFS has been right multiple times this year, better than the European, while the European has multiple times been right over the GFS as well. So at this point, it's not fair to say which model would be more accurate. Really, we could look at some finer details and maybe a better handle on temperatures or some certain storm earlier prior to the storm that we have more confidence on, and how it handles that storm. We could see how it handles this potential upcoming one, which one, has a better handle on the sooner one compared to the later one, and that could give us more insight on which one has more accuracy. However, at this point, we really don't have that, and notice we see that first system right there across the country. This kind of brings that initial push of precip, and we really see the storm intensify. Look at it. European doesn't have it awfully too strong. It definitely would still show snow, but it's at 1,000 millibars, so it doesn't seem too awfully strong according to the European model. Now we're looking at the European model, which, again, I started showing you a little bit previously in Tropical Tidbits. Now let's look at pivotal weather, and notice that we also have a little system across the country right here, which I addressed at the beginning of the video, that could actually potentially drop a little bit more snow than expected. But notice that if we were to look at this main upcoming one, we have that first pet system dropping potential some heavy decent rain and moderate amounts, light snow to the north, basically rain all the way to the Canadian border. Otherwise, though, we have that secondary system really cranking itself out, getting a blow out of it. Notice, look at it. We have that first wave going to the north, southern Wisconsin, which a little bit further north according to the European at this point. Again, that will change. It might stay the same, who knows, but I have a feeling it will change. It may not change by much, but it probably will change. And notice it's almost like if the European develops a secondary low, and this one just really cranks out heavy snow. That would be a classic blizzard possibly across northern Illinois. That shape right there is an actual definition of a possible blizzard with those isobars. Very heavy to moderate snow across Michigan, and then it moves off into the northeast. Not coastal areas, but then notice we have another system that comes through, which could be potential, and yet another one. So it really looks as if things are going to start picking up. And let's look at the total snowfall accumulations through about hour 174 to not include any other systems. Looking at this, we see that again, a little bit of snow across the Virginia and Kentucky area, and then with this tiny system, and through hour 174, notice these snowfall amounts are rather significant. This would be a biggest snowfall event of the season for Illinois, Missouri. Notice a band of generally 6+ inches, reaching into possibly the double digits in some locations, and the Northeast seeing quite a bit of snow as well out of this. So we'll see. Looks like a rather significant system, and definitely one to watch. So thank you guys so much for watching. Consider liking the video, consider subscribing to the channel. I'll catch you all guys in the next episode. See ya. Bye.